this video, I'm going to share with you what I've just done with one of my clients, and it's a coaching call, a recap. But I also just noticed that it's the same stuff that I've been doing with leaders, especially those who double and or triple their profits for the last 10 years. It's the same stuff. It does not change. I was listening to a podcast, and some guy who sat down with Charlie Munger said the same thing, that nothing changes. Okay. Yes, new technology comes and all these things happen, but the essence of how we do stuff in the world does not change. Do you have to be clear about what you want in life? Absolutely. So, in my review with the client today, the first thing I had to check is, are we clear on the product? Are we clear on where we're going? Are we clear on the kind of team we need? Are we clear on the things that are a must-have, whatever happens? Then number two, we said, okay, if we're very clear about that, we need to communicate it with persuasion. We need to communicate it, and the communication is in two ways. There's the communication within the company where you get people rallied around it so that they know this is what we're creating and how it is important. The second communication is on the outside, how we're promoting it. Are we creating communication outside that promotes an amazing product? Okay, if it is not there, then if you're not promoting, if you're not telling people, that means you're winking at a beautiful girl in the dark. She does not see your wink, therefore she does not know that you're winking at her. The third part is you are going to focus on having an amazing product. You are going to focus on delivering such great value through your product that it is silly for people not to do that. The world is full of mediocrity. The world is full of a lot of people who don't do what they got to do. But also, it's also full of a lot of copycats and people who do mediocre work. And all my successful clients who have led big organizations have always understood the power of a great product. So make sure that product is great. And then next, you got clarity. You're communicating it inside and outside. And the communication outside is that you're letting the world know that I've got a great product. That is called advertising. That is called making sure that your target market, the people who are the right people for your product, that they know about it. The next one is making sure that the product is amazing. Now, you could say the product comes after clarity, but what I've found is that sometimes people will spend so much time on the product instead of telling people they have it. Sometimes you have to go and tell people that you got a great product, which then pushes you to make sure that you actually live up to that expectation of having a great product. Next is you got to create some momentum. And momentum is the energy around the organization, the energy around the product, the energy around the mission. It has got to be there's got to be a different energy. There's got to be a different dynamic, okay? Every great founder, every great business person, when they were all starting out, they all had an incredible sense of urgency and an incredible sense of energy. All of them. Okay, if you go and look at any of them, from the guys who started Sony to the Bill Gates of this world to whoever, you name it, to Dangote, everybody has got a different kind of energy that is not like all other people. Now, if you want to do mediocre stuff and you just want to create, a mediocre company, then of course this is not for you. But if you want to create an indelible mark in your community, in your country, and produce some amazing stuff, then your energy is important. Energy behind the product, energy of having the right people, energy of making sure that everybody is inspired. You will be surprised how many ideas die simply because they don't have momentum and or energy behind them. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, raise the bar in terms of your expectations from your team. Raise the bar, period. I always put the word period because, look, people will always rise up to the level of expectation. Now, if your expectations are low, guess what? They'll rise up to those expectations and that's it. Whereas, if you want amazing stuff, you want amazing results, you want to take the market by storm, you got to raise the bar so high. I was listening, again, I love listening to this podcast by founders. And, pardon me, there's, I think there's a quote in there where, I think it was Kobe who was being asked. He was being asked, hey, you know what? What do you think about if the crowd the crowd is booing you and or does not. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not. It's not exactly that. But the essence of it was that he turned around with this face of what the hell are you talking about, and said, the crowd will never have higher expectations of myself than me. Therefore, their standards are so low, it doesn't matter. I expect a lot more from myself, so those boos are useless. And then this spoke to him about the team. He said, everyone who ever joins this team, I got to drag them up to my standards because I'm not going to go down to their standards. That is also the essence of great organizations. That's also the essence of life. Sometimes you get caught up in positions where you have to lower your standards, thinking you're going to help people. No, you don't. You have to demand excellence all the way so that people can step up and do what they got to do next. You got to actually begin to think about, how do I own the narrative in my sector? How do I become a leader in my sector? If you, again, there's nobody who does culture in the part of the world where we've been playing and is not talking about rapid influence system and intelligent performance. It doesn't exist. Okay, you got to be able to own the narrative wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You look around your community and look around the people who are doing great and look around the people who are selling the most. You will notice that they have built a brand around owning the narrative, owning the sector, being the leader in that sector. You got to work towards that. How do you do that? You got to put content out. You got to have blogs. You got to put information out that shows that you're an expert in that area. Why is that important? You want to be seen as an expert because experts get paid more than just than the rest of the guys. But most importantly, when you own the narrative, when you speak, there is, it's like when you go to the hospital and you find a doctor in a white jacket, that immediately gives you the perception that, guess what, this is an expert. It's the same thing in the market. They got to perceive you as an expert by you owning the narrative. Yes, intelligent performance has done a good job, but not as good as it could have been. And we are going to go back to owning the narrative. There's two things that nobody can do better than us. Number one, high performance culture for organizations. Nobody does it better. Number two, teaching leaders and managers how to be persuasive public speakers. Nobody does it better than us. We own that narrative. And yes, they're pretenders, but we know that nobody can do a better job. Therefore, we know that if somebody comes in and we tell them you're going to pay $10,000, they know, those who pay it, they know what they're going to get. Most importantly, they get it and more. Okay, next. Speed and speed and speed and speed and speed. Speed of execution, speed of execution, speed of execution. Shoot and then aim. Shoot and then aim. Shoot and then aim. That comes from a book by Jeff Bezos. Elon Musk. What is he known for? A maniacal sense of urgency. Get it done today. Get it done now. Get it done now. What are you waiting for? Same thing with Steve Jobs. Same thing with the Dyson guy. Same thing with all the greatest guys who have created some amazing stuff. All of them have the same thing. A maniacal sense of urgency. Again, I was listening to the biography of Kobe, and after his basketball career, he said that the next 20 years have got to be better than the last 20 years. This is after his basketball career where he had been the best. And he was planning for the next 20 years, and he was so focused on still being the best. But this is the thing. He died before it. Don't overestimate how much time you have, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Therefore, get to work. Do what you got to do. I push companies. The conversation I had when we go to this stage, I could feel a bit of resistance from the leader, and I went after them big time. I hammered away like crazy because I needed them to understand that do not think you have all the time in the world. But also, as you are tinkering and trying to find the best and what, there are other people who are moving faster. AI is here right now. The people who are going to take the biggest advantage, the companies who are going to take the biggest advantage are the guys who are going to implement first. Fast as in FAST, quickly, and most importantly, so that they can reiterate and make it better than people who are trying to get the foundations good and now. Go now. Maniacal sense of urgency. Why? Because we don't have time. Then number 8, it is not for the faint of heart. You gotta have some serious courage, man. In my life, I look at my life in every 10 years, every 10 years, and every time I have gone through the dark, what took me out was courage. What took me out was a maniacal sense of urgency, but most importantly, a fearlessness to the repercussions of whatever is ahead. You must have a certain fearlessness, a certain courage. You know, I was again when you read and or study the greats. Like I said to you, there's nothing new. There's nothing new. All the books, all the biographies, some of the stuff in there is exactly what's happening now. So studying those things are actually quite useful, if you ask me. But one thing is for sure, you gotta have a certain sense of fearlessness. You are fearless in terms of how you pursue your goals. You are fearless of the competition. You are fearless of what tomorrow might bring, because if you know that you're doing the right thing, it does not matter. Every time there was cowardice, every time you hesitate, somebody's going to pass you, but you're going to miss an opportunity, and the people who you're meant to serve are going to suffer. Most of the leaders who don't make it is because they're cowards. They're not willing to go the extra mile. But also, almost 80-90% of the leaders out there doing mediocre stuff is because they're cowards. They want to be seen to be right. They want to ride a happy ship. They don't want to upset anybody, and for that matter, they never create anything amazing. Find me a leader who is doing amazing stuff, and if you look at their history, they have had sprints of fearlessness and courage that has made them the best of the best, and then ultimately build a team of A players. By the way, this video alone, if you follow it, whatever company you're in, if you execute any of this, I guarantee it is going to what? Completely take you to the next level. Why? Because it is what I've used for the last 10 years. I've not had a failure in well, I had one or two where it didn't work out as well, because it was more of I chose the wrong client. It was not the right client for me, therefore it didn't work out well. But over 10 years, over $250 million done, helping companies do that. I didn't earn it, so taxman, don't come after me. I help other companies do it. This is what they follow. The final part is building a team of A players. This is the hardest part. But also, this is where great inventors and video and producers and owners and founders, this is their secret sauce. Building an amazing team. Building an amazing team around them. Finding quality people who are willing to pay the price for the mission and going after it like crazy. And then ultimately where we come in is to help to create that fantastic culture of high performance where all the things that I've mentioned above can actually flourish, so that people can go on and create amazing companies, be able to bring up amazing people through, but most importantly, be able to make a difference in this world by leaving positive, indelible marks across their industry. That is what we do. And if you want any of this, guess what? Give me a shout and we will be able to help you out. I think there should be something in the link below. And if you want to learn more about how to be a great consultant, speaker, trainer, guess what? There is a link again below or in the bio where you can join me in my school group where I just share these things on a daily basis, where we help you as a consultant do what you got to do to be able to earn what you need to earn, but most importantly, to enjoy life as you do it. Okay, until next time, peace.